Yo, what's good? What's good? It's your boy Freddie Tracks, FreddieTracksBeats.com, P.T.I movement, TraumaLoops.com. What's good with ya? Now, this video, I guess you can call it a rant, but I do have a point that I want to make. Now, a little disclaimer, this video is very opinionated, so if you don't agree with anything, there's a button at the bottom of the video. It's called stop. You can press it at any time. Alright, so let's move on. I usually don't talk about news, but I do want to touch on this. I'm sure everybody's seen by now. Shia LaBeouf spitting his freestyle. Check it out. Look, spit some bars. Look how hard he hit his head. That means thinking. Bars, son. But yo, I think y'all know by now. I mean, you can see it right here. He plagiarizing his freestyle. I mean, he ain't freestyling. He gonna bite off some 90s hip hop all female group. But it's all good. Everybody knows by now. I ain't gonna get on him too much because the internet is already gonna take care of that, you know? But my point is this, that even though he gonna steal his lyrics and claim them as his own, the fact is that he has the foresight to know that lyricality is what's popular, or I should say, was popular again. Uh, this is like especially true in underground and independent music, because the thing is that in mainstream music, like lyricality has been declining like drastically, man. In the last 10 years, people have been saying hip hop is dead or hip hop is dying. But you know what? It's still here, right? It's still thriving. But actually, not thriving. I should say it's kind of sick. It's not dead, but it's sick. And I believe the reason why is because these record labels, they don't care about furthering hip hop music. They just want to make as much money off the artist as possible. This is why you have people like this guy. What is that? That song is like one long hook. You know what I'm saying? And this guy. What is this? Now, rappers, please enunciate when you spit your lyrics, okay? Let me understand what you're saying without having to go to a lyric video, alright? But, you know, there is still some stars that shine bright. I mean, look at this. Big Crit. I guess you could say he's arguably one of the best MCs of today. One of them. I mean, like I said, there are some stars that shine bright. But for the most part, in mainstream, the record labels, they don't really care about talent. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to underground and the independent artists, those of you who are underground and independent artists, you guys are tremendously talented. I mean, look at the 16 bar challenge. I mean, I haven't heard one yet that I don't like. You know what I'm saying? Just go to Facebook, in the search bar, put in 16 bar challenge. You can find a load of them. You know what I'm saying? Now going back to what I was saying about Shia LaBeouf, he gonna rip his lyrics from a 90s group. A 90s group. Back in the 90s, I grew up listening to that kind of music. That's what I call the golden era of hip hop. After that, it's just declining. I mean, there are still some groups. I mean, like Wu-Tang Clan. Didn't they recently put out an album? I was big on Wu-Tang when they came out, and I still am. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. But let's take a look at some of 90s biggest stars. I mean, Biggie Smalls, arguably one of the best MCs of all time, you know? And he always brought it with the lyrics. One of my favorites here, Shook Ones, arguably one of the best songs of all time. You know what I'm saying? This is like one of my favorites. This is either my #1 or #2 on my iPod playlist for my 90s hip hop. And now I bet y'all didn't know that Busta Rhymes used to be in a group called Leaders of the New School. And that's what 90s hip hop was called at the time. New school. I mean, now it's old school, but 90s was new school in the 90s. You know what I mean? And Busta's still like one of my top favorite artists. So what I was saying is that old school hip hop is real hip hop. And the reason I is real hip hop is because it was focused on talent and lyricality, as well as beats. I mean, there was a certain style back then, which is also coming back into the mainstream. It never really left. Nothing ever really dies. It just evolves. You know what I'm saying? But that old school style is coming back in to the mainstream, but much more in underground and independence. You know what I'm saying? Now, to say what my main point is, that real hip hop is coming back. This has been your host, Freddie Tracks, and I think it's safe to say that I speak for the entire hip hop community when I say, welcome back, hip hop. You have been missed.